Hello and welcome to the darker stage of Twilight here in the domain. My name is Dusk, and I wanted to continue with part 3 of the main story for The Elder Scrolls Online. Now, it's been a few weeks since I last uploaded a video for this video series, so I apologize in advance for any inconsistencies between the videos. I'm trying a few new things, and life got in the way. You know how it is. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with Chasing Shadows. This is quest number 4 in the main story questline for the base game. We last left off getting to know Lyris Titanborn really well. All her fears and her weaknesses and her strengths and what makes her Lyris, essentially. While we did that and freed her from the realm of Oblivion, we found out that our buddy Sai-Sahan is actually also trapped in that horrible place by Molag Bal. So then the problem becomes how to get him out, because Sai-Sahan knows about the location of the Amulet of Kings, and Mana Marco is just not supposed to get access to that at all, because, Doom and the end of the world and all that fun stuff. So with the help of Lyris, doing some investigating around your starting area, you find that there's a cult and they might have some information on Sai-Sahan's whereabouts. So the prophet sends you out to go investigate this lead.
Venture to Daggerfall. Speak to old maid Maxell and Husnir the mercenary. It was on their lips that Lyris first heard murmurs of trouble lurking in the shadows. Locate this agent of evil. Return with any personal effects they carry with them.
And with that, off you go. You have to go investigate. In my case, it was Daggerfall, but of course it could be Vulkelgard for the Dominion, or Davin's Watch if you're in the Pact.
You're new to Daggerfall, aren't you? I know everyone in town. I don't like to gossip, but there's been an Imperial vagrant nosing around for the past few weeks. Suspicious-looking fellow. I actually saw him picking through the trash outside the castle a few weeks ago. I've no idea where he is now.
Talk to this person, talk to that person, pretty standard stuff. If you have any of the Fighters Guild or Mages Guild skill traits unlocked, it makes some of the dialogue a little more interesting, where you can skip certain things and, use Persuade and Intimidate to move through the story a little bit easier.
Saw him slip into a house right by the south gate with another shady-looking character. Arrest them!
Sometimes it's nice to just take a moment to pause and listen to some of the bards in some of these inns that play some really good, interesting music. Eventually, you go ahead and you find the secret entrance to this mysterious dungeon place and begin your search for any of the personal belongings for these dark agents to give you a clue about Sai-Sahan. And just as we were expecting, it's definitely the big baddie at the end of the dungeon. Now, please be kind. I was still leveling up my character and I wasn't quite sure what I was doing with my Templar. But I had a pretty good build, I think, for at least questing and doing some of the story. By the way, feel free to tell me what your favorite class is in the comments below, and why, because I would like to know. Right now mine is Templar, but Warden is definitely my second favorite. Now, upon defeating this guy, you come across an interesting little artifact which allows you to communicate with none other than Abnur Tharn.
This is Abnur Tharn. The Master and I are very busy. This had better be important. Wait a moment. I don't know your face. Identify yourself. I'm not in the habit of revealing vital secrets to insipid lackeys. Now be gone. And if you contact me again without good reason, I shall contact your cell commander and have you properly thrashed for your ineptitude.
And you don't get very much information out of him, but yeah, he does help a little bit in your search for Sai-Sahan. You then proceed to go back to the Harborage, where you can talk to the Prophet and Lyris about what you've discovered.
You've returned. What have you found?
Abnur Tharn shows his face again.
I get the sense that he might have a larger part to play in the coming events, but for good or ill, I cannot say. Leave the orb with me. I shall be able to use it to locate Sai Sahan.
With the artifact now in the Prophet's hands, he can help find Sai Sahan. But Lyris would like to also talk to you about the 5 companions. It's just a little recap on who Abnur Tharn is and his relationship with Mannimarco. It's kind of an interesting bit of lore.
The story of the 5. I know it's a lot to take in. We'll talk more later. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye on the Prophet. Hopefully that orb will help him find out where Sai Sahan is being held. Once we know that, we can plan our next move.
Now, as you may have realized, the next part of the quest involves you just kind of going out and exploring for a little bit, and eventually the Prophet summons you back for the next section.
We have an unexpected guest, personage. My attempts to use the Orb of Discourse to locate Sai Sahan did not meet with success, so I decided to try a more direct approach. I used it as it was intended and contacted Abnur Tharn.
Ooh, so with that change in plans, things get a little more interesting. So you have to talk to Abnur Tharn now. And it turns out that things may not be so warm and cozy between him and Mannimarco.
As it happens, I find myself to be somewhat of a prisoner, in dire need of rescue. My proposal is this. If you retrieve me from Mannimarco's fortress and grant me asylum, I will give you Sai Sahan's location in return.
So off you go with Lyris in tow to go rescue Abnur Tharn. That's an odd, strange turn of events, but that's how it is. So you're tasked with getting into Mannimarco's castle, sneaking about, killing things, and somehow making it to Abnur. Now, with you and Lyris together, exploring little bits of Cold Harbor as you make your way towards the castle, you come across one of my favorite characters of all time, Cadwell. After explaining to Cadwell a little bit about the situation, he agrees to help you out by getting you into the castle.
I see. A rescue, is it? Well, that's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? There is a cistern that drains into the waterway. The door is locked, but that's not stopped me before. Why don't you meet me there and we'll see what's what?
What's what indeed. So, long story short, Cadwell knows how to get into the castle. It involves some sort of like complicated storm and mechanics and some moving some pipes around, but he can get you in. The deal is you just gotta keep him safe for the duration from the nasty, horrible things that are out there.
Well, I can handle the tinkering, but you'll have to keep the beasties off me. It will be quite a romp. Are you game?
Which is pretty simple, and of course, Cadwell always comes through for you, releasing certain levers and opening the door. Cadwell is even so kind as to give you a hint as to where Abnur is hiding.
You'll need to make your way through the keep's heart to get to it, but it's not terribly far.
Hear me out. How many Tharns does it take to rule an empire?
Shut up. I'm trying to work here.
None. The one on the throne is a patsy, and the one in the tower isn't useful anymore.
That's not even funny. Get back to work, would you?
What? It's true.
I thought that was pretty funny, actually. Now, the majority of the castle is pretty easy to get through. You know, just kill a few enemies here, kill a few enemies there, and then Abnur Tharn even teaches you how to make a flesh atronach to get past one of the barriers. That's kind of fun, I guess, in a gross kind of it's alive kind of way. Am I doing it right, Abnur? Is this the proper method?
We'll make a necromancer of you yet.
So eventually you make it all the way up to a tower in the castle, where Abnur Tharn is waiting for you,
We meet in person
anxiously.
at long last. You look taller in your projection.
And he's still incredibly rude.
I'm not a moment.
But that's what we love about him, right?
If I had to inspect one more bloody soul gem, I'd have thrown myself from the to the west. That was our agreement, was it not? Now.
And it is all fine and good until
You feel that?
Mannimarco makes an unexpected visit.
Now, Tharn. No telling my secrets.
Which leaves you to fight Mannimarco
Go to your room,
and,
Abnur.
again, rescue
deal with
Abnur,
you
who's
shortly.
now in super deep trouble.
Ah, dear Lyris. Your old position at the Foundry is still available. We'll even give you your own set of unbreakable chains. And you, the thorn in my side, the pebble in my shoe. How strong are you? Shall we test your limits?
And who knew? He absolutely hates us, the main character. I guess that's to be expected, though.
You dare attack the Chancellor of the Elder Council?
After fighting some of the strongest enemies that he can send at you, Abnur finally comes to your aid, somehow escaping his prison, and kind of ruins Mannimarco's
Dare
day.
you betray me, Tharn? Your suffering will be legendary.
Now, Mannimarco's defeat is but just a temporary thing. He'll be back soon, so it's important that you leave the tower with Abnur. But before you guys go, Abnur does reveal that Mannimarco plans on betraying Molag Bal and becoming a god himself and ruling the world. Quite the plot twist, actually. Well, after all that, it is time to flee. You've got to leave the tower before Mannimarco returns if you want to have any chance of escaping. And it's none other than Cadwell to come rescue you and save the day. Again. I love Cadwell. He's great.
Okay, preserve us. You're as battered and bruised as a peach in a sack of rocks. Bit of the old daring do, was it? No matter. You'll be needing an escape route, no doubt. And it's what I do, quite honestly. We should probably hurry it up. The entire castle is as bristly as a sack of sewing needles after all that noise.
And that's it. You escape the castle, go through the portal, and return back to the Prophet, where Abnur and Lyris kind of get into it a little bit. They don't seem to be getting along very well. Probably some really bad feelings about the whole situation that they're in. Which is understandable, especially from Lyris's point.
Mannimarco wants me dead. Did I pretend to capitulate to him? Yes, I did. Do you have any idea how many lives I saved by doing so?
The only thing you saved was your holdings in your own hide, you pompous ass!
Abnur had no choice.
As the Prophet tries to get them to calm down, he reveals something very, very interesting and leaves the player wondering what's going to happen next.
Vestige doesn't know? Oh, this is...
But that is not my true name. I am Varen Aquilarius.
Our fallen emperor in the tattered robes of a moth priest, blind as a newborn kitten.
I am sorry I deceived you, Vestige.
So, cue the dramatic music, and everyone's all super shocked at the big reveal. Yes, the Prophet is Varen Aquilarius, the same emperor who got us into this whole mess, and who set the horrible chain of events that led us to us losing our soul and getting into this predicament with these three here now. This deception kind of would make you feel a little bit uneasy. I mean, what does the future hold? What other secrets is he hiding? What's gonna happen now? Abnur is now on our side, and is Sai-Sahan still gonna be rescued? There are so many questions that still need to be answered. Unfortunately, that's all the time that I have for today. This video has dragged on long enough, so be sure to tune into my next video. It'll be part 4. We'll see what Abnur Tharn has for us and in our quest to find Sai-Sahan. So please, if you enjoyed the episode, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. More videos coming soon. And if you feel so inclined, check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Dusk Cerberus. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday. I want you to come by and share your story. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope it inspired you in some way. My name is Dusk, and I wish you a wonderful day.